Speaking of Larry Merchant, HBO, what do you think was the kryptonite in HBO closing their doors? What do you think was the kryptonite over there?
What was the
Like the kryptonite, like
okay, yeah,
their weakness? Why did they close?
Well, I think at the beginning of the end was when they stopped doing business back in the day with Golden Boy and with Al Heyman. That was the beginning of the end, and that was frankly a dumb move. That was a move, an emotional move. And that wasn't a necessary move, because the fact is a lot of fighters, a lot of these stars we have today would still be over there if they wouldn't have done that. But that was a decision. I don't know who took the decision, but somebody did. But that was the beginning of the end. Let's face it. Ever since then, it started to go downhill.
And them actually bowing out, does that surprise you, or did you see?
No, I think it's just a logical evolution that you know, you can't be in the business if you don't have the stars, and they don't have the stars. I mean, when the you know, with flyweight, superfly, I mean, this is like, okay, it's nice, you know, but I mean, you see the people watching. I mean, nobody really cares, except a really hardcore group of boxing fans. And so I think it was sort of like, you know, one thing led to the other. They got smaller and smaller and smaller, and you know, you have to look at. I'm not going to say that.
Well, okay.
Like, look at the, you know, they made a lot of mistakes.
And to the defense, maybe some fans will say, well, HBO, not in particular, I can't say what fights, but they were getting better ratings than Showtime. But at the same time, like you said, they didn't have the fighters to sustain the kind of momentum that they're used to having. So maybe even having better ratings than Showtime wasn't good enough in the sense of not being able to put those cards consistently like Showtime.
Well, you know, I mean, it's not really true that they got better ratings. They got better ratings in comparison to the number of subscribers they have. I mean, they have substantially more subscribers than Showtime, and so yeah, so they got more people. But that's not really, you know, I mean, if you even it out, then Showtime's audience is there, and as a matter of fact, Showtime's audience has been growing while HBO's audience has been declining. And if you are a corporation, you are not going to really invest into a declining business, but in Showtime's case, in a growing business, you invest. And I think the big difference was as well that in HBO's case, once Ross Greenberg left, which is really another one of those moments where they started their decline, because they had Ross Greenberg and Kerry Davis leave, and that was sort of like they were replaced by people who were not really as passionate about the sport anymore, in particular at the highest level, on the management level. These were not boxing fans, these are entertainment fans, original content guys, original series guys. While on Showtime side, you had a management team which loves boxing, which were boxing fans, particularly at the very highest level, with Leslie Moonves, who is a guy who went to fights, who was seen at all the big fights, who was instrumental, for example, as well, to get the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight done. So that's somebody with a deep passion for the sport, and that was missing on HBO's side.
So with him not being out of the picture with his situation, do you think that's going to have a ripple effect for Showtime? Or
no, I think it's going to motivate Showtime even more, because now they're really on the space when it comes to premium subscription TV. There's only one game in town, and that's Showtime. I think that's going to motivate them even more. And as you've seen a while ago, it was announced that PBC made a 3-year deal with Showtime. So Showtime has a commitment on for a longer period of time to remain in the sport, and remain in the sport in a, not just remain in the sport, but remain in the sport in a leadership position.
In regards of Leslie Moonves and his situation, he was a big advocate for the boxing program on Showtime for CBS. How does the situation?
Well, there are other people like within Showtime, like the head of Showtime overall. The chairman and CEO, David Nevins, is a big sports fan, big boxing fan as well. So there's other people which are passionate about the sport, and that helps. Because if they understand the sport, they are more likely to invest in the sport than if they don't. And the same is on the pay-per-view side. I mean, HBO pay-per-view is gone now, so there's no ifs and buts and nothing. The biggest player in pay-per-view is Showtime. Showtime pay-per-view, and they have a proven platform. They have a proven distribution model. So I think they are going to only get stronger now, because now their main competitor is gone. I mean, competition is good, and you know, there's all the networks now stepping up, but Showtime is the leader of the space.
Is Al Haymon the most powerful man in boxing, would you say?
No question about it. He's been that for a while, and I can tell you he's going to continue to be that for a while. And again, we were talking about passion. Passion makes a difference in everything you do, whether in boxing or in your business, but Al Haymon is the most powerful guy because he is passionate about the sport. He is passionate about the sport. He loves the sport. He watches it non-stop. He's passionate about his fighters, and the fighters know that, the way he treats the fighters. So that is why Al Haymon is the most powerful man in boxing.
Let's go back earlier about your, you could offer Canelo a good deal. Do you think you could be that bridge to gap that relationship between Haymon and Oscar De La Hoya again, and have them just be better if they work together, you know, just overall, like maybe a Canelo fight or something?
For me, this is not about my feelings or about Oscar or Oscar's feelings about me. I think in the end of the day, you have to put these feelings aside, and you have to do what is right for the fighter. And if what is right for the fighter is to explore and talk and sit down with everyone, with every player out there to see where can I really get the best deal, then that should happen for the benefit of the fighter. In this particular case, for the benefit of Canelo. And if because of personal feelings or so, you don't explore these options, then you really don't do a benefit to your fighter.
Appreciate the time, Richard. Thank you.